going off.
It's okay. Nobody needs to see your big head. What's up, guys? It's Tess and Jackie.
Hi.
Hey. We're back with another video, drinking smoothies. Blueberry peanut butter.
So good.
So good. But we wanted to just answer a few questions about becoming an esthetician, starting your own business, and a few questions about lashes. If you guys are interested, just keep on watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you do like it, and don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so first question is from Abazari26. What are your thoughts on those who want to pursue becoming an esthetician? And the second part of the question is also, what if you already have your license, but there isn't a place in your town or city to pursue your career?
So part number one, yes, do it, go for it.
Do it if it's what you truly love.
Yeah,
Don't
definitely.
do it because we're talking about it. You think it's like what I'm telling you to do. Do it if you truly love it, and if it's something you would do for free, I think you know it's something.
Yeah, do it if it's something that makes you happy. Yeah. And then the second part of the question, if there's nowhere immediately around you to do it, then that's even more of a reason to do it, because you don't have any competition. So if you provide services that aren't readily available, you don't have competition, and people will definitely come to you.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Take over the town.
There you go.
Do
it, girl. You do it.
You do it. Start something in your house if you wanted to. Just make sure you have the correct licensing. Look up the laws in your state.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, but if there's no direct competition, there's probably a demographic around you who would want to use your services. So
I would.
Much more of an incentive to do it.
There you go.
Sure. The next question is from Lynn. What I struggle with is, how do you give a good / deep hand massage? How long does it take to feel confident? I feel so horrible at mine. You know, that's something I think people do. It's something you don't really learn in school, so I can see how, as a new esthetician, it would be kind of a new thing. Just takes a little bit of time to get used to. My boss's advice to me was to go get some manicures, go get massages, see what feels good to you, practice on your friends, on your mom. You can look up pressure points on the hand if that helps. There's tons of info online. So yeah, just do what feels good. If it doesn't feel good while you're giving it, it probably doesn't feel good to receive it. So you can just keep it simple in the beginning if that helps you feel more confident. Yeah. And then she also wanted to know, how do you tell your clients what products and techniques they're doing wrong? They say these horrible habits with such great confidence, LOL. It's so hard for me in the moment to educate them. We can definitely relate. Yes,
you would definitely always have at least one client that is that way. Yeah, several. So for lashing, one thing that I recommend is after a certain amount of hours, I recommend washing your lashes. Now, a lot of people don't, and they do this because they think that the extensions will last longer. However, in the long run, it's worse for your lashes because you have buildup on the extensions, which makes them heavier, and that will ruin your natural lashes long term. So I always just try to kind of say it as like not a joke, but say it lightheartedly. Like I will say, your lashes held up really well. Like one thing I noticed is your lashes told me that they want to take a bath, so make sure that you wash them after the next 48 hours. Kind of keep it still like aftercare, but also like specific to them.
Keep it cute, but you're still the authority there. So
definitely.
Yeah, and for me as an esthetician giving facials, I think one thing that's really important to have on your intake form is a question that asks, are you okay with receiving recommendations from your esthetician about products? Just seeing that on the intake form lets me know if somebody's open to it or not. Sometimes people are really eager to hear the recommendations and they want to know like a full out routine they can follow. And then of course I have my clients who really love their Cetaphil. They've been using a Bobbi Brown cleanser for the longest time, and they always say, my skin's used to it. it can't tolerate other things. It breaks out when I start using something different. And that might be the case. Their skin might be used to it, but it doesn't mean they can't benefit from professional grade products. So that's something I always try to emphasize. Your products should be professional grade, and it's really a matter of looking for quality ingredients, looking for products that don't have a ton of synthetic fragrance, synthetics, fillers. So it's all about just kind of reading people. If somebody's not open to it at all, I don't want to push it and feel salesy. I always try to recommend at least a cleanser, and they can kind of take it or leave it. But you do want to be a little bit firm in how you suggest their home care. And I always like reiterating that you need professional products to maintain your results. There's really no point in coming in for a facial once a month and then going back to your Cetaphil or whatever products you're using at home. So you can kind of just reiterate that having the right products will allow them to maintain the results and make it worth their money in the long run.
Yeah, another thing that I want to add to what Tess said is what I feel like is helpful too is if you recommend a number of products and then you say, but really the most important one that you need is this one. And then kind of just, you know, have them get that one.
If you already sense they're on the fence.
Yeah. Yeah. And then just have them get, if they're not like, okay, I'll get it all, like me, her facial blades.
Yeah, because you're going to benefit from having
I love her products. But if there's somebody that's on the fence, I still say, hey, this is what you need. Yeah. But this is really, like,
if you're going to take one thing away from it, I really think you need the cleanser. I'm noticing some surface dryness in your skin. You know, from stripping the barrier. So it'd be really beneficial for you to at least have a really good cleanser as a starting point. And then I like to say, like, I'm going to keep all these suggestions in your record. So next time you come, we'll have that information on file. You can always think about it for next time or do your own research.
Verbatim, perfection. Here we are.
Your answer too.
Yeah, and then they will see a result from that one product, and that'll establish a trust, and they'll be interested.
Jackie.
Now I own the whole store. They will become interested and establish a trust with you, and then trust the other products that you recommend as well.
Yeah. Next question from Taco Wrath. I love that name. My question is more about starting school. I'm worried about my peers judging me for being older and my skin condition. What's the vibe going to be like? Will I be harshly judged if I show up with a Red Bull like I was in massage school? What kind of bullying should I expect? Okay, I just want to say, like, thinking about our class, it was a super diverse group. All ages, all races.
Yes.
Just
all genders.
All genders. Just like different political beliefs, different sexual orientations, like all across the board. Different backgrounds and demographics. Like
definitely.
Literally the whole melting pot. But yeah, like thinking of our class, and of course it's going to be different for every class, but some of my best friends were in their 30s, 40s, 50s. And I personally think it's really cool to get to know younger people like Jackie, who's 23 and one of the most driven people I've ever met. Mm-hmm. And then some of my friends who are a little bit older, like they have different wisdom about life. So I personally love like meeting people of all ages. And I don't think that was something that was like a separation among people. Like there definitely was drama sometimes, but it seemed to be more like just based around cliques and their own personal things, not based upon people's races or age.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I also think unlike traditional schooling, everybody that's going to esthetician or cosmet school is really there with one motive, and that's to get their license and start and get out. Yeah. So I wouldn't really worry about the bullying. If people are paying attention to petty stuff like that, then their motives are not on track. And I think just, you know, focus on going to school, and if you need to drink a Red Bull to get through school, drink your Red Bull and it'll be over before you know it. Just take it day by day. And there definitely is going to be drama. It's just the same group of people every day for months and months and months. It's never going to be peachy keen 24/7, 7 days a week, but just, you know, find a good group of people that is supportive and uplifting, and just, you know, ignore the people that you feel like don't bring anything to the table for you, because in the end, this journey is for you.
Totally. And I loved surrounding myself with certain people who I really admired their goals, especially being someone who this was such a new career path for me. I thought it was really cool to just get to know people like Jackie, who have a vision for their business and just get motivated by people's goals and attract like-minded people to your group.
Yeah.
Was that a good answer?
I hope so. If it wasn't a good answer, ask us a follow-up question, okay?
Yeah. Be yourself. If people are bullying you, you don't want them in your friend group. Anyway.
Yeah.
And I will come for them. Okay.
I wouldn't even think of these people as, are they going to be your friend or not? Are they going to like you or not? They're just professional contacts. And that's not professional demeanor to bully someone over a Red Bull. So, you know, don't have them be your professional contact then. That's fine.
Yeah. Jackie ate her tuna sandwiches.
I love tuna melts.
Tuna melt.
And I would drink coffee at 7 o'clock at night. So,
yeah.
I don't think the Red Bull thing's weird at all. I probably would have asked for a sip.
Everyone has their quirks. You get to know everyone like they're your family, I feel like.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, I was weird because I brought my own meals to every class, and that wasn't the norm. Like,
you're such a weirdo.
I know. No, but people actually like thought I was really weird in the beginning. But it's just like, I'm going to do me.
Yeah, and honestly, by month 9, they won't even remember.
They have other things to
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Ali's son said, your videos and positivity were a huge inspiration to me to make a change in my career and be confident in that decision, so thank you.
Yes, Judy, yes!
As for a question, I'm curious how you deal with unhappy clients or clients who are a handful in general, if you've experienced any, and how to turn their experience into something positive.
I'll take it away.
Yeah.
You will always have a handful client, multiple handful clients, but from my experience, really just make sure they don't shake your confidence, because they will feed off of that. Stay confident, stay true to your personality, and just know that you are good at your skill, and that will reflect in your work. I had a client, I did a full set, she wasn't totally happy with it. I fixed it for her, and then she asked for a correction. I offered her the correction, and, you know, after working hand in hand to get the vision that she wanted, we achieved the look, and she ended up just writing me spread after spread after spread, complimenting me, and it felt really rewarding. So just know, once you get through that less than easy breezy client, it will feel so rewarding, and you can deal with any client.
Yeah. I think if you are willing to go the extra mile for people, it always pays off. I think merit and just hard work almost always pays off. And as an esthetician, I think the best thing you can do with difficult clients and clients in general is set the expectation from the beginning. Be very clear about what the service is going to include, what results they can expect, what changes they can expect in their skin, if any. So if somebody has gotten a little bit red in the facial, or has a little bit of hyperpigmentation from extractions, just always be upfront and say, you know what, you're going to be a little flushed for the next day or so. This should calm down in a couple days. Just always try to set the expectation so there's no surprises.
I also had an experience where I had this client, and she came in for a service. I provided the service, and I know I did a good job, but she just must have not really liked my vibe. I don't know what it was, but the next time that she called to book an appointment, she had requested anybody but me, and it kind of hurt my feelings. I was like, what did I do wrong? I know that it looked good. And so she was going to other people, going to other people, going to other people, and one day she just had to come to me based on the day she needed it and who was working. I was the only one that could. And you know, I brushed off like there wasn't any drama, that I didn't know she didn't like me, and she looked in the mirror and she was like, okay, no lie, this is one of the best hands that I've gotten in a while. So, so sometimes that difficult client, it just does not have to do with the service itself. Sometimes it just boils down to personality, and not everybody is going to click with everybody. That's just the world. But as long as you stay true and confident in what you're going to do and the services you provide, then everything else will just flow. And the clients you're supposed to have will wean out from the clients that you're not supposed to have.
Yeah. Difficult clients come up. I feel like it's probably just 1 out of 20 people. It tends to be a little bit more.
And the clients that some people find difficult are other people's favorites. So there's somebody out there for everybody.
Yeah, it's true. And sometimes those tough clients end up being like your biggest champion and write you the best reviews. So just treat everyone like royalty across the board.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. I am graduating ESTY school in a few months, and I'm planning on starting my own business. What recommendations do you have for pricing out my services right out of school? Since I'm just out of school, I can't charge an outrageous amount, but I also want to be taken professionally and not sell myself short for what I offer. Thanks, loves. From Jordan. Thanks, Jordan. Okay, so Jackie and I...
Go ahead. We both did not start our own businesses straight out of school.
Yeah.
And we both recommend doing it the way we did it because we're both happy with where we are now. We both look back with a smiling face at the fact that we gained some experience after school, and
I think it's really important. And I just think, and I know some people really want to start their own business outside of school, so maybe that is your path and what you're going to do. Looking back though on the 2 jobs I've had, I've learned so much from each one, and I think it's really important to find a job, even if you only did it for a short period of time. But I think it's really important to learn from someone that's not your teacher and who's gonna be willing to show you how to take care of clients as a business, because it's so different from what you learn in school. It's just the basics. There's so many little touches and flares I've learned from having a really amazing boss who's invested in my training, and those things are invaluable. They're things I wouldn't have thought on my own. Like, if you have a spare minute between grabbing products, like play with their hair, make them feel comfortable, touch them, just make them feel good. And it's little things like that that set your service apart. If you're just, and this is just my opinion, if you're just learning a European facial in school and then just applying it out of school, I think you do miss out on a lot of those little details that make such a difference to somebody.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Her facials are so much better now, you guys. like so much better.
It's true.
But if you do feel confident in starting your own business straight out of school,
discourage anyone. That was my experience.
It was just both of our experience.
And we both have colleagues that have started their own business, and they seem to be doing good.
Yeah. So to answer the question, if you do decide to open a business straight out of school, in terms of pricing, I would recommend doing double of the cost of product at least. So you actually are making something and not just only output, but also you want to keep it reasonable because you want to build up a portfolio if it is a visual service. I'm not sure what the service that we're particularly discussing with Jordan is, but like if it's something like lashes or something like microblading, then you definitely want to build up a portfolio and get as many clients in so you can take pictures. But you also want to make sure that it's high enough and reasonable enough that if you're going to raise it, it's not a huge increase, because you don't want to lose people once your promotional pricing is over. Right. You want to have regular, repeat, loyal clients.
Yeah. And along with that, I would just say, if you are starting your own business, you really got to take it upon yourself to take the extra classes, always be educating yourself and learning, because you are at somewhat of a disadvantage from other companies that have established training, that have been doing this for a long time. So I think the more extra classes you can benefit from, you're better off.
Yeah, or collaborating, referrals, all that stuff. We also have a video on marketing starting out. So take a look at that if you have any questions about our starting out of school marketing. So, but in terms of pricing, I would say keep it reasonable, keep it profitable, and keep it somewhat stable to what your final prices are going to be.
And I would add to that, friends are great, but, and it may be how you kind of generate word of mouth in the beginning, and you may give them free services, but your friends are always, to be honest, going to expect a little bit of a discount.
Yeah.
And I don't
Except for me.
Jackie will buy the whole store. But I don't know. I think you want to, of course, give people discounts in the beginning, but as soon as you really value yourself and your time, I think...
Yeah, people are going to ask you what's your prices when they very well know what your prices are, just because they're hoping you'll give them a different answer.
True.
Don't give them a different answer.
Yeah.
Your prices are your prices. You set them that way for a reason. Stick with them. Yeah.
Yeah. Know your worth and be real about it. You're not, obviously Jordan knows she's not going to be charging in the beginning.
Somebody would ask me like, oh, how much would you charge to do my lashes? And I'd be like, how much should I charge them? How much should I charge them? Like, how well do I know them? Like, it's like,
it should be the same for everyone.
It should be like an automatic answer. It's either like, yes, I'll give you a discount, like, you're my mom, or no.
Right. But you don't want to take your friends for every appointment because you're never, if you're giving them a discount, you're not going to come out on top.
Right.
And it's your business.
Right.
Yeah. And sometimes friends need to be told, like, this is how I make money. Like, it's a fun service, but this is how I support myself.
Or I'll give you your full set complimentary because I want the content, but after that, you gotta pay for your fills, girl.
Okay. Next question from Jennifer. Love you so much. Love you too. I would love some advice on how to stand out and how to set yourself apart.
Take it away, Judy.
How to stand out and set yourself apart. Be your true self. I feel like when I started getting more confident and having repeat clients was when I just was comfortable being my authentic self. Like, you can have your little quirks with clients and your little rapport. It doesn't have to be like a robotic, like transaction. Just make them feel comfortable and truly be yourself. I think that's when people feel comfortable with you and want to come back to see you because you just radiate a certain energy when you are like just really being yourself.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I also think it helps to add a little flair if you can. Like, let's flair. We love flair. So let's say if you have somewhat of a generic attire that you have to wear to your job, like let's say scrubs is a common attire in the aesthetic world. Add a little flair, have a little signature lipstick, have a little signature scent. I one time had a coworker who she would always wear a head wrap and just smell like incense, and she was just such a vibe.
Because she was herself.
Yeah, she was unapologetically herself. So definitely just incorporate a little bit of you in your everyday workspace.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to your social media, if you can include little bits about your life, like, you don't want to be inappropriate, but just include little bits about your life. Be vulnerable with people. Be a little bit raw if you can.
Yeah, that's something I'm working on too.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, make it seem aspirational and like you are the expert, but I think it never hurts to have a little bit of like relatability, like
definitely
for people's friends.
Yeah,
it's lashes and facials. It's not that serious.
So serious.
Okay, question from Hannah Banana. How to market yourself as a high-end esthetician? I feel like my schooling is so in-depth, I want to focus mainly on skincare. How do I make that happen and not get stuck at a dead-end job doing pedicures and waxing? So I think my answer to this is really write out like a clear list of your favorite boutique medical spas or whatever it is, your favorite high-end places, make a list and reach out to those contacts. Be very specific and tunnel vision on those certain types of places you want to work at. You're obviously not going to apply to a low-end spa if that's not in part of your vision. Don't even consider it. Just have your focus on where exactly you want to work, and I think the universe will attract it for you. Something I always want to reiterate is that the way I've always gone about getting my dream jobs are just reaching out to those places with a super passionate cover letter and resume. I don't look for just open applications because I feel like I personally get lost in the shuffle, and I feel like then I am choosing a job based upon what is available. I guess I'm a little rebellious, but I like to find exactly where I want to work and find out a way I can get in there.
Yeah. So I would tack off of that, and I would say what has really helped me in the past get a job that I really want is finding the job that I really want and only applying to that job and really just putting all of my energy into that job. You know, wake up, check my phone, did that job contact me? I don't want to have anything else on my mind.
Clouding
my vision. So I would agree with the tunnel vision in regards to finding a job that's actually somewhere that you want to be.
Excited about it.
Yeah, that you're excited about. Find your favorite, go for it, you know, and until you get a no or hear a no, then you can look for something else.
Even if it is a no, ask for an informational interview, because maybe even if they don't have space at the time, they meet you, they fall in love with you, and maybe there's, you know, a little bit of room for you to take on a couple hours, or
and I feel like
they just keep you in mind.
I feel like if a place isn't hiring, doesn't have a space for you, if they really like you, they will make a space for you. They'll make it work. They want you, and they can tell how badly you want to work there. People love that.
Yeah.
So I would definitely recommend that. And another way of keeping yourself high-end, if you are straight out of school, is I would say just really think about like your credibility. And even if you don't have a lot of work experience, think about the credibility of the school you went to. Think about the credibility of the teachers that you took in extra classes from. Think about how deep your professional roots really go. Think if you put some thought behind how credible you are, even just fresh out of school, you'll come out with something deeper than you even realize. So, deep roots. Deep roots here, guys.
Deep roots from deep estheticians.
Yeah. So I think definitely nobody needs to settle for a quote pedicure and you know, shimmy shammy job that they don't really want. Yeah. If you are really eager to get something, it will show for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And then Hannah Banana also wanted to know, how do we stay motivated in school? So I think the best way I stayed motivated was to surround myself with really positive go-getters like Jackie and ask people, like, what are your plans after school? How do you plan on using your license? And I feel like I got really inspired by those answers because this was such a new world for me. So I kind of needed to be surrounded by people who had clear visions for themselves.
Coffee. Definitely to get you through school and keep you motivated. But also just remember what the end goal of this is.
Remember why you started.
Exactly. Remember why you started. Eye on the prize. Look at your hours. Say, I only have this much to go. It seems like a long time, but it
seems like so long while you're in it, and then it's over in a flash.
Yeah. By the time you hit second semester, if you guys have that, the second half, it just goes by so quick. So I also think another tip is to really get to know your teachers and instructors. I also like to talk to my classmates a little bit more about like personal life, really get to know who you are surrounded with, almost like a family.
Okay, last question is from Lynn. She said, I take my state board in June. Any tips from you two? I'm taking mine in Tennessee, which is probably way easier than California, LOL.
Yes, I have a tip for you. I really liked, and I found some of the questions were exact. I used the app, it's called Esthetician Exam Center. It's a black and white logo of makeup. That one was really, really helpful. I saw so much similarities. Quizlet is another great tool, to be honest with you.
I used Quizlet.
I didn't even open my Milady book to study.
What kind of learner you are. I love looking at a book and highlighting. It just helps me remember things. And I also use Quizlet. I think I just typed in like California State Board exam and it came up with a bunch of questions that were really similar to the ones we had on the test. And obviously just remember your sanitation is the most important thing when you're doing your practical exam.
Definitely. Yeah. In terms of the written, something that really helped me is I would create questions, I would study chapter by chapter, and then the chapters that I did better on, I would just kind of set them to the side, and then the chapters that I did worse on, I would continue to study those. Then I would mix it up, see if I was still struggling with the same chapters. So usually you will find some chapters way easier than others. Focus on the chapters that you feel like you are struggling more with.
And I think if you can just remember, like, you are going to go into a very nerve-wracking situation, so just try to remind yourself, like, you know this information, you've been studying it for 9 months, like, it's pretty ingrained in you, so just try to have your little tunnel vision and don't let anyone kind of rattle your nerves, don't let the instructor intimidate you. She's just a person. Like, just go in there and try to get the job done. Don't have a ton of caffeine on that day because that made me a little shaky.
I love caffeine. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just kidding.
I'm nervous.
Just also know what you're getting into. Don't bring your phone. Don't bring your purse. Don't create extra things that are going to stress you out.
Be early.
Be prepared. Yeah. Be aware you're not going to drink water, you're going to be thirsty, all of that stuff.
You don't really need to like talk to the girls from other schools on that day a ton. They learned different things from you.
Yeah.
It can throw you off.
Don't compare notes. We both recommend renting a kit. Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
Renting a kit, we feel like for the practical, you will get eyed a lot less.
Oh yeah.
Because they know that your kit's good. If you got it from the rent a kit, if not, they're kind of looking like, what's even in her kit? Yeah. So I definitely felt it's definitely worth it. A lot less pressure if you rent a kit. Be aware the practical is most likely not going to be 100% what you learned in school. It's always changing. So even like what her and I's practical is, it might be a little bit different from you guys already. I know like our practical was just a little bit different than the people that took it 6 months before us. So it's always changing. It's okay. Just go with the flow. I think they added like brushing eyebrows for us, and I was like, wait, what? We have to brush the eyebrows, but you guys will get it. You know what to do. Just be sanitary.
Yeah. Be sanitary above all. Yeah. I think that's it.
Cool.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching our little Q&A.
Yeah.
Nice chat too. It was fun.
It was nice answering your questions. Keep coming with the questions. We love them.
It's an excuse to get Jackie open.
Yeah, an excuse to put some makeup on. Drink some smoothies. Gourmet.
Comment below if you guys have any more questions. Don't forget to give this video a like. If you do like it, smash that subscribe button.
And good luck to all the future estheticians.
Good luck. Bye guys.
Do I look dorky? I don't think so. But do you? If you think you do, take them off.
Is that bad?
No. Do you think I was? Should we do it?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, if you want to.
I didn't really know what I was saying.
Okay. Judy, calm down!